Today, we're going to talk about something that kind of runs the show behind the scenes every single day. And a lot of the time, we don't even realize it's happening. I'm talking about the hidden language of our emotions. I mean, really think about it. Have you ever had one of those days where it feels like your feelings just take over? Like you're not the one in control anymore. You're just along for the ride. You know what I mean, right? That moment, a tiny frustration at work somehow becomes a full-blown snap of anger at home. Or when one little worry about something in the future just spirals and spirals until you're staring at the ceiling all night, completely lost in thought. If any of that sounds familiar, I promise you, you are so not alone. To really get a handle on what's going on inside of us, sometimes it helps to look at a really extreme example. And this is an incredible true story that shows what happens when our emotions completely hijack the system. So just picture this. You're Butch Connor. You're a surfer, you're out on the ocean, paddling by yourself. It's peaceful. And then you see it. A 14-foot great white shark just cutting through the water, coming right at you. In that instant, thinking just stops. All rational thought is gone. He was completely paralyzed by this pure, primal fear. He even said his muscles just locked up. And before he knew it, he was knocked right off his board and into the water as this enormous animal thrashed all around him. That right there, that is a classic emotional hijacking. But then something really interesting happened. That paralyzing fear, it shifted. It transformed into this powerful, incredible surge of anger. And all of a sudden, that anger gave him something to do. It fueled action. He wasn't helpless anymore. He grabbed his board and actually started to fight back. See how that works? The emotion changed and his actions changed right along with it. So anger helped him fight, but it wasn't going to get him to safety. He realized the shark wasn't leaving. And to actually survive, he had to do the hardest thing of all. He had to consciously take back control from that terror, calm himself down, and begin that long, nerve-wracking paddle back to shore, all while knowing the shark was still right there with him. Now, Butch's story is obviously incredibly dramatic, but that exact same battle, the one between feeling and reason, that happens inside all of us, every single day, just in much smaller ways. And the reason for it is fascinating. It's literally built into the wiring of our brains. And get this, it might sound kinda wild, but studies show that only 36% of us can accurately identify our emotions as they're happening. That means for the majority of us, we're often being guided by feelings we don't even really recognize. It's kind of our default setting. And here's why. Every single thing you see, hear, or touch travels to your brain as a signal. But here's the crucial part. Those signals hit your limbic system, your emotional brain, before they get to your frontal lobe, where all your rational thinking happens. You are hardwired to feel first and think second. And this is where emotional intelligence comes in. And it's not some kind of mystical talent you're either born with or you're not. It's a skill, a practical, learnable skill. It's really about building a better, clearer conversation between your emotional brain and your thinking brain. It's exactly what Butch had to do to survive. So, if we can't just stop our emotions, what can we do? Well, this brings us to a really huge shift in thinking. It's about learning to see our feelings not as enemies we have to fight, but more like messengers, carrying really important information. I just love this quote from the researcher Carla McLaren. It really reframes everything. Our emotions aren't just random, illogical chaos. They're a fundamental part of how we think. They're like their own intelligence system, constantly sending us data about our world. The only question is, are we listening? For so long, I think many of us were taught to sort our feelings into two simple buckets, good or bad. You know, happiness is good, anger, sadness, those are bad. And we try to suppress the bad ones and hold on to the good ones. But this new view is so much more empowering. What if there are no good or bad emotions? What if there's just information? What if every single feeling actually has a purpose? Let's just take anger as an example. We usually think of it as this destructive force. But what is it trying to tell you? Well, anger's job is to protect you. It shows up when your boundaries have been crossed or when your sense of self feels threatened. It's a signal that just says, hey, something here is not right and it needs to be addressed. It's not telling you to yell, it's just telling you to pay attention. Now, let's talk about some of the toughest signals to listen to. Emotions like shame can feel so overwhelming, but understanding them and understanding their antidote is a huge step toward emotional freedom. researcher Brené Brown explains this so well. There's a really crucial difference between guilt and shame. Guilt says, I did something bad. It focuses on our actions. And you know what? Guilt can actually be productive. It can motivate us to apologize and do better. But shame is different. Shame says, I am bad. It attacks our very identity, and it makes us feel flawed and just unworthy of belonging. See, shame thrives in secrecy and isolation. So what's the antidote? Empathy. When someone can connect with our feeling, not by trying to fix it, but just by being present with us and saying, I understand, without judgment, the shame starts to lose its power. Empathy breaks that isolation that shame depends on to survive. Okay, I know this is a lot to take in. So where do we even begin? The goal isn't to become a perfect master of your emotions overnight. The goal is much simpler. It's just to start paying attention. This is about taking the first gentle steps towards self-awareness. So where do you start? First, just try to stop labeling feelings as good or bad. See them as neutral information. Second, just start to notice the ripple effect your emotions have on the people around you. Third, instead of running from discomfort, maybe just get a little curious about it. And finally, and this one might be the most powerful step, simply try to name your feeling. Just saying to yourself, this is frustration. That can create the crucial pause you need before you react. So I'll just leave you with this question. As you go about the rest of your day, just listen quietly. What is one emotion trying to tell you right now? What is the message behind that feeling? The answer might just surprise you.
Your mind is more powerful than you think. Subscribe to Blue Mind Theory.